Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's Sunday, so you know what that means. It's time for another My Hero Academia Recussion, this time for chapter 297, so let's just go ahead and hop right on in. I just finished reading through the chapter. First initial thoughts. I don't I don't know how I feel about it. I honestly don't know how I feel about it. Basically what happens is that All for One is still in control of Shigaraki's body. We see that Shigaraki's fighting back, telling him, "Give me back my body." Nope, you're not allowed to do this. And All for One's basically taunting him, "What? You wanted my power. You decided to spit upon the world that shunned you by not even lending you a hand." And basically what happens is that after that, All for One's basically making Shigaraki go to Tartarus, that very high state quirk prison, basically doing a jailbreak. He breaks into he makes Shigaraki and the Nomus go to Tartarus, and they break out. And because of this, we see probably was like some interesting things about this as we consider how this prison is so up there. Like, I would say, like, this is almost like a Black Ops style prison. So it's just like, and what I mean by that is just like at one point, let's see. Okay, yeah. So at one point, one of the guards is that they couldn't kill that thing, and they're like, "Nope, guns are useless against a giant like him." Obviously, talking about Gigantomachia, and since he's a human, they want to just blow him to bits with a missile. There's one guard saying, "Human, hardly. It's more like a disaster on legs, or a wild beast, just like the rest of the animals we've got locked up here." And so the guard's like, "Hey, cut it out. You know that we're being recorded." And the hearts and mind party may be dissolved, but its faction won't let this golden chance pass them by. And we've got our hands full with accusations of human rights violations. You don't know where something will be leaked from. And the guy who said that they're not even human, it's like, you know I'm right though. And so we cut to basically like panels with some select prisoners, and he's like, they might walk and talk like people, but these disgusting beings only managed to mingle with society as long as they did, because quirks have warped our standards for humanity. So that's that's definitely a interesting thought process, I guess. Is someone's basically saying, yeah, you're not really human with quirks, and I'm pretty sure that's been touched upon somewhere earlier in My Hero. I can't remember specifically where. I feel like I remember reading that this kind of thought process for it. Um, I just can't remember where exactly. The whole chapter is basically Shigaraki, or All for One, through their use of Shigaraki's body, is coming through and trying to break him out. It's kind of an interesting thing is like, again, like I said, Shigaraki's being saying, "I said that that's my body, master." And All for One, while they're having this mental conversation, is like, "Oh, you're awake now, are you?" "Nah, I'm prescribing a good long rest. The hyper regeneration isn't working very well, so I need you to be healthy." And then Shaggy's like, "But you're the one who said to give my body a break." And he's like, "Yes, I do. After I do what I must. It's my body. Give it back." And like I said, "Oh, but wasn't it you who desired my power? You spat upon the world that didn't so much as extend a helping hand, and you desired the strength to make good on your hatred. This is the result of your powerful will. You brought this all about, and isn't that what really matters?" And he's like, "I won't be your stinking pawn." "Pawn? You have it all wrong, Tomoro. You're so very dear, and near and dear to me. After all, you're the next me." And so, I think, depending on how this goes, I think part of my problem is that it goes back to Deku saying that the look on his face whenever they were in the, I'm just gonna call it the One Mindscape, just All for One, One for All. I don't know if it has an actual name or not, He's talking about how there was a look on his face, Shigaraki's face, that he needed to be saved. And with the way how it's paneled is whenever All For One says, "After all, you're the next me," he's got his hands like this, and he's got like basically strings wrapped around Shigaraki. I and I like saying that you're the next me, and the way how this is kind of going. If All For One can take over Shigaraki's body like this, kind of like how the previous One For All users can, like during the sports festival arc that made Deku break out of the mind control. That's it makes me think that this is like some sort of what's the word? Like a soul transfer, and that Shigaraki ceases to exist, and All For One just basically takes over his body, or like some sort of soul switch or something like that, where basically All For One gets a body, a new one, so and the one that his current body dies. Now, something that I personally can say that goes against that is the fact that he's so prideful and such an arrogant bastard that he wouldn't do that. Like, he wouldn't actually get rid of his own body or something just because. But at the same time, I could kind of see him doing that just because All For One taking over Nana Shimamura's grandson's body to destroy the legacy for One For All. I could kind of see him doing that. Like, I honestly could see him doing that just because I think that'd be like a just a giant middle finger to All Might. Because let's face it, that sounds like something he would do. During the breakout, Guard Tower just decayed into nothing. It's Shigaraki and the Nomu. And so he's managed to pinpoint his body's location with search, but it's in the deepest level, so it's about 500 meters below sea level. I had to Americanize that real quick, so it's 1,640 feet and 5.039 inches below sea level. So good lord. And basically saying that even if he decayed the structure while leaving his body untouched, the crushing water pressure would kill him. Obviously, yeah. And he's also saying, furthermore, this incomplete body is coming apart. He requires other villains. And he's basically saying how bringing Maki along would have barely helped. Not when they had the resources to respond so decisively. And even if this new body had been perfected, invading from outside the prison would still be a tall order. So, and they're monitoring the system, and this is kind of interesting. He managed to coordinate an inside and outside attack at the same time with the villains inside and Shigaraki. That's something that I'm kind of curious about because I really want to know how exactly he did that. From what I understood, there was like a quirk nullification system or something along those lines inside Tartarus. So maybe he had an inside man as a guard who managed to find this one particular quirk and just turn off the powers. And the reason why I say it was like that, because as soon as we see like the riot squad or the suppression squad move in, we see that one of them's like, the regulations, yada yada. He gets blown up, and they start firing, and we see Muscular come in. He's like, those pea shooters could kill me now. Where's the exit out of this hell? I'm bound for paradise. So that's why I say one specific person like who could do EMP level stuff, and because Muscular and I think his name was Silverfish, the teeth guy who with the hooks coming out of his mouth, were both part of that, and they're breaking out. And honestly, I don't think that they would be smart enough, wise enough to not immediately start breaking out and just start trying to fuck up shit. And so we see this one lady's like, the system isn't responding to quirks. What in the world? What's the world coming to? And she just like looks at a door and she just gets like a headache or a sense of uneasiness. she goes to open up the door and sees someone named, just some random guy come out and yell out, "Boss." And they're like, saying, "Wait a second, we ain't going anywhere without the bridge." Oh, give me. Oh, wait, boss. Is that Kurogiri? No, it's not. It might be Kurogiri, but no, but he's not surrounding in the flames, I guess. Or can you turn this off? So they're basically saying, we ain't going anywhere without the bridge. Give me a break. I'm dying to set foot in the world of the free and living. If it's freedom you desire, then submit to me, my brethren, and bear witness by my side. And Muscular's like, Shigaraki? And it's like, this impending void area will give rise to a more perfect demon lord. This will be the story, how I become the greatest demon lord of all. And that is the end of the chapter. I think this is a very good chapter. Um, Obviously, I kind of wanted to know more, a little bit more. I would have preferred this chapter to be a little bit more of a clarification on exactly more on the hero side of people either retiring, like quitting just because they couldn't handle, like, the war was just so much. More detailed list of who's been injured, all this other stuff. Because I still was kind of disappointed in, like, the confirmed kill list on the hero side, like on the hero side. Like I'm not as mad as I was. Like that was a missed opportunity because, like I said, the only noticeable death was Midnight. Yeah, Midnight was a teacher. Yeah, she has, I'd say she has a above average like screen time, but I don't know. It's just it wasn't necessarily like just like that emotional death that it could have been. Like, yeah, the students finding her dead body, that's kind of fucked up. I'm not even gonna try to front on that part, but it's just I don't know. But this chapter, like I said, I still don't know how I feel about it, just because with All for One coming back into the situation, that leaves me considering what's gonna happen to Shigaraki because they're saying that he's gonna be the new me, all this other stuff. If that's the case, I'm kind of gonna be. I honestly, depending on how this plays out, I was kind of okay with Shigaraki just being a bad dude. You know, like yeah, the system failed him, and so he decided to say fuck the system and go and destroy it. And I don't like, maybe I don't necessarily even trying to get redeemed or anything like that. He just goes out and he just goes out as a villain. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of where I thought he was gonna go. Part of me hopes that's where he goes, but I don't know. I don't know. Um, but like I said, I think. But overall, I think that this was a really fun chapter. Thought it was really fun, really good. Um, just got me left with a lot of questions. So I guess, as always, comment down below. What did you think of the chapter? What are your thoughts? Where do you think that this might possibly go in the future? Um, are you like? Do you kind of agree with my opinion on how you kind of don't want this to be like some sort of body soul transfer for All for One into Shigaraki? Or do you like? No, that makes sense. And please tell me why. I'm curious about this. But anyway, as always, I want y'all to have a fantastic day, and I'll see y'all later.